everyone. I'm Mohammed Atari, and this is Amin Azariz, and we're here to introduce you to Greendizer. And what Greendizer is, it's a company all about e-invoicing. But first, let me give you a few numbers, about our market and why we are in the e-invoicing business. Well, first, this number, which is really huge, 36 billion. This is the number of invoices that are produced every year in Europe. It's really amazing, but what's even more and even better in this is that over the next 6 years, e-invoicing is expected to save Europe more than 238 billion euros, which is extraordinary. But with all this interest and zillion of companies that have been working on e-invoicing and trying to improve this market over maybe the last 10 years or even more, we are only at a rate of 5 to 10% of invoices in Europe. And the United States are even, are even way behind this, actually, which is pretty surprising. It usually gets up way first. So what we think is there is a problem in this market. It's huge, it has a lot of interest, but most people, can't make it, and we don't know really why. Well, we've tried to work on this, and we've noticed that there's simply room for disruption here. This is what Greendizer is trying to do here. Disrupt this market and invent something that didn't happen before. So very simply, what we're trying to do is to aggregate all invoices into the same place. Let me show you how it looks like. Well, this is the interface from what we call a buyer's perspective, someone who has received those invoices. And what you see is that it's very familiar to anyone who has ever used email. It was very important for us. The email paradigm works very good for if you receive only 10 invoices per day or 100, which is great. And we try to really customize the interface to get all the data that you need about invoices right on your face, actually. And if you go, you have everything that you could expect, which is read, unread. You can flag them, to find them back very quickly. We've tried to build in a lot of stuff. You have indicators, it's in red because it has to be paid today. And if I don't do it, maybe I'm going to have late fees. You can actually message your sellers. You can have a lot of, a whole set of communication with them, so that you have only Greendizer to communicate with your sellers. You don't need to go to another website, find their phone number or anything else. Everything is here. It's the only channel of communication that you're going to need. I'm not going to take too much time on this, because we have a lot to see and we have a lot to tell. So let me get back to this presentation. And take F5, I'm going to have to go over it again. Sorry. And okay, now we're on it. The second point after this is that when we build this aggregator, we noticed and we simply realized that the world doesn't need another dumb aggregator. Everyone is doing this. Every other solution is trying to do the same. So we try to go further, and we try to structure that data. We wanted invoices to make sense. We think invoices are the most undervalued and underestimated documents ever made. You can basically know anything you want by analyzing those invoices. So we use a standard that's already in use today, which is basically XML, which is very extensible. And we just throw up every other standard that used to be before. And with this, we have tried to build a pre-calculation engine that could allow any company today to do all the pre-calculations that they need to build a wide range of possible applications. So what are those applications? It could be something to automate your accountancy. It could be something to, you build Greendizer right into a CRM, for instance. You could build a whole dashboard, and let me show you a lot of examples about this. And using the API that we have used ourselves to build our own product, what I've seen, or I've just showed you right now, you could have really amazing stuff. Check this out. This is a dashboard that can be built using Greendizer. You make calls to our API, and then we can analyze sales. You can link this to your stock and know how many products that you have left in stock. we can have a lot of stuff that we just didn't put here, like your VAT, how much taxes you owe right at a specific moment. What is great about this is that it's entirely made for small and medium businesses, because those guys don't have the money to invest in really expensive software. And what's great about Greendizer is it's completely free. We have just another example, which is a mock-up of a CRM that we tried to make. And this just shows what something else that's possible and the kind of innovation that we want to see being built on top of Greendizer using the API that we're given to.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, Greendizer. What do you think? Judges, questions for the team?
First, are you using an existing XML standard for invoices?
There are a lot of standards about invoices. We have created our own, which is, like very basic. It describes an invoice, and the way to think about it, which is great about XML, is that it's very extensible. People can add their own data, we store it for them, and they can retrieve it anytime they want. And we only use the required parameters that we require in the beginning.
So integrating it with a third-party software product?
Well, we can write plugins, because what's great about an API is this. Actually, you can write a plugin for any accountancy software, for instance. But what we'd like people to do is basically write specific software for our platform and use that open data, which is XML, which is great. What's great about XML is that it's readable, even readable, it's portable, which is pretty great.
How do you expect to make money?
Well, we have a lot of ideas about this. Well, first, we have payments, which is built in, and we take commissions on the bills that are going to be paid through our platform. What's great about this is that we have been able to have very low rates because we have higher volumes. And for those small and medium businesses, they're going to have much lower price than if they want to negotiate themselves rates with those people.
And who do you expect to be your sort of early adopter customers? Why do they want it?
Well, we are building a lot of partnerships with web agencies and web developers, because those guys usually focus on applications, on the core features of their applications, and they forget about invoicing, which is a very important part. And they only realize that they forget to really work on it afterwards. So we have partnerships with agencies, and we think about a lot of startups that want to, just start doing business from a day to another, that needs this kind of solutions that are really built in, and you plug them and they're ready to use.
Okay.
I guess my observation, which I guess is a part of the question, is that it seems to me that, at least if I understand this, it's largely a platform. And I think that one of the things is it's largely a platform.
It's largely a platform.
Right, and I think that the applications are going to matter. And yes, it's good to have an open ecosystem, but you're going to want some applications that are very compelling, that show the power of that platform,
yes,
to really get people engaged with it. Because otherwise, a platform without a wonderful showcase app that shows what it can do, a lot of times it doesn't really get off the ground. So what do you think some of the key applications should be? And which of those will you build?
Yeah, I think the first key application that people are going to be wanting to see is the one we built. It's built on top of that API, and it uses that data to build a whole new experience over. There are a lot of stuff that I couldn't show you because of the time, but you have like dashboards that help you to manage your budgets. You can manage expenses, you can group those data, and can be done all automatically. The other kind of applications that we think can be really interesting is the dashboard that I showed you. And I think it's great for any company to be able, from a day to another, to have such a great tool available, like this, with no programming, no developing, and at a very low fee. I really try to convince some developers, to write this kind of applications that are going to be really
Could you present us your team?
Yes, we are three. This is Amin, our CPO. He was a full engineer. We have another one of us, which is who's in Morocco right now for business, because we're trying to we're signing some contracts with some customers, which he's done a business school basically, and I am like in between of both because I've done business school, but I also program, and so I've been working technically in both of this.
I mean, this largely revolves around adoption in terms of the platform. How are you going to get this to be the standard? Because without it being a standard, if I get half my invoices in through one platform and half through another, I mean, EDI is 20 years ago, and it failed so spectacularly. Why is yours going to be different?
I think it's we should not try to impose or have a standard. We just have something that works pretty well. It's XML, and what's great at XML is already a standard. We're not trying to convince people to get data format that didn't exist before. And XML, what's really it's not costly to write data transformers, and to convert data from one set to another. It's not expensive at all. And the fact that we're open, it might encourage people actually to trust this platform and be able to take their data and maybe take it somewhere else. We're open. Our competitors can maybe import your data from Greendizer if you want to. So don't try to have a standard. We have a format that we think works. If something else appears and it's better, maybe you're going to take it too. So we think
it's not the format of the data, it's where I push my data. And why should I put my data where you are?
Where we are, because we think we are the only one that offer a platform that's open today, which is a very compelling solution for most people because you're not going to be present in it. We have those applications. We have another one for sellers. I didn't really have time to show you that. But those applications really make your life easier. Think about small and medium businesses. People that usually use Excel to do their invoices, or Microsoft Word even. And this can allow them to really manage that flow of invoices that come, and it's so much easier. So this is our first step, and it will be free.
All right, thank you, Greendizer. You figured out one of the keys to